Now.
Good to go.
Thank you. Good morning. Okay, so we're bounding through spring like lolloping gazelles. And shush, come on, we've got to be upbeat, right? And so let's start Pilates session by warming up and setting our posture. So that's the really important thing. It's how do you wear ourselves? I'm going to put a bit of attention to what's going on with our shoulders today. So as always, we think about neutral spine, lengthening and creating space between the joints. So we stand as tall as possible, as long as possible. And instead of just thinking about rolling the shoulders back and down, just put some effort to opening the chest first, sending your arms to your sides, lengthening through your elbow joint. Think about bracing through your center. So we've got a bit of a tuck under through your bottom, so almost like a bit of a bottom squeeze as we get going. And standing nice and tall. With think about the feet, we think in a straight line, toes stretched and spread, and think equal weight distribution from heel to toes, to baby toes to big toes, okay? And while we're there, let's just rise up onto our toes and back onto our heels. Just taking our time with this for a moment. Okay, think about the energy pushing through all the toes right the way to the end of the movement. Because, of course, this is now just starting to challenge the core muscles. We're waking up the core because this is straight away into balance. And you might also notice that with high repetition, you start to feel that warming through the back of the lower limb and then back of the thigh. Think about, as you rise up, this opening through the inner seams of the body. And we're going to stay at the top for 3, 2, 1, and lower, rise up again. 3, 2, 1, right heel lower only. Left knee bends, right hip comes out. Rise up, whoop. Left heel comes down. Right knee bends, left hip comes out. Rise up. So that's the challenge. You'll notice you'll be really challenged with your balance straight away with this. That's because we're coming from an outside into the midline. And also just starting to wake up the outside seams of the body. Last time, right and left. I really find that quite the challenge. We've only just got going. Up, down, down, left heel, left hip out, right knee bends. You should just feel that space just starting to happen into the hip. Right up, both heels lift, both heels settle. Okay, we're going to bring our body weight through the front of the feet as far as you can whilst keeping the toes pressed into the ground. And just lean into it as far as you can. Come back into your center, so feel your weight equally distribute. Then we're going to move out to the side, onto the right. Again, try to keep your weight equal and balanced through your feet. Come back to the center. Let's go to the other side, so we're over to the left, keeping your feet equal and balanced. Back to center. And then finally we lean back. So think about lengthening and trusting the body as you put your weight through the back of the heels. So this is that consciousness around where your weight sits in your feet, okay? So we come back to neutral, relax off your knees because they'll be really nice and tense by now. And this time I just want you to do a circle right the way around the outside edges of the feet in one direction and then right the way around the outside edges of the feet in the other. Lovely. So I notice I can feel changes here. I feel clicks, but also I feel a lot of stress in the lower limb too. So I can feel tension and tightness of the muscles here too. Lovely. Okay, just shaky, 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 shaky. So this time what I'd like us to do is take your right over your left and squeeze the thighs together. So straight away, that's a bit of a challenge. Okay, right hand comes up in a straight line, and then right hand leans over. So what you should get here is quite a stretch out of the waistline. Again, what you should be feeling is a bit of unsteadiness through the feet. Arm comes forward and down, and relax the shoulders. Just give the right shoulder a couple of circles. Beautiful. We uncross, we recross. So left in front of right. Hold that, squeeze the thighs together. So that will feel a little bit of a challenge. Arm comes up, then arm comes over. Lovely. So again, we're stretching out through the waistline. Make it as long as you possibly can. Okay. And then relax the shoulders. Okay. Right. So we're just going to open it up a little bit. So I warned you this is about shoulders. So we're taking the arms forward and backwards. So it crosses and then opens the chest. So 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. So the idea here is starting to create that flexion forward, extension backwards, upwards between the front of the body and the back of the body. Lovely. And it should feel more like a ripple as you do this, as you start to get that lovely mobility. You keep going. At the same time, think about any tension that's going on through your abdominals at the same time. So you might notice that you're starting to contract and tighten through the front of the body as you keep going. Now also at the same time, your knees are coming into play as you flex and extend and flex and extend. Lovely. And release. You may at this point started to increase your rate of breathing, maybe a little bit breathless, and that is completely normal. We're going to turn to our side. Your left leg is the front leg. Your right leg is the back leg, and we're just simply going to rock forward and backwards for a moment. Just enjoy that sensation through the feet. Heel toe, massage through the arch of the feet. Right the way forward, so we lean in, but I want you to leave your toenails on the mat of the right foot. Okay, your right arm comes up, we lean back. Oh, so there you go, a nice little fascia stretch again. Release down, and we'll rock again. So heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. This time come forward on your front leg, leave your right toenail on the mat. Enjoy that stretch through the front of the foot. Right arm comes up, right arm leans back. Breathe. So we're really trying to release off here. Take your arm out to the side, and then we switch. Okay, so this time round, everything's shifting and falling here. This time around, right foot forward, left foot back, same thing. So we could just switch cameras for the heel toe pat. So what I'm looking for is keeping the feet in a straight line. So we're rocking forward and back, enjoying that, feeling that massage. As when you come forward on that back foot, that will give you a lovely stretch to the arch of the foot. Then we leave the left toenail down. So we're stretching through the top of that foot. Left arm comes up. And then we lean back. Lovely. And then release, reset. So again, just that walking forward and back, forward and back. Lovely. Oh, that's nice. Come forward. Leave your left toenail on your mat. Stretch the foot. Left arm comes up. Left arm leans back. Take your left arm out to the side as you reset. Well done, everyone. Okay, so strange fascia releases today as we get you nice and mobile. Now, I warned you about the shoulders. What I'd like us to do is start with a wide base of support. Okay, and then from here, we're going to start to tip at the waist a little bit. So, and then from here, we're just going to rock. So, as if you're holding the baby in the cradle, we're going to rock the arms. Now, this bit will start to enable some rotation into the spine, okay? So, it's maintaining a nice little circle shape, rock the baby. We're leant into this as we rock. Okay, now it doesn't feel too onerous, but it's here, it's into the rib cage and that space at the bottom of the rib cage that where we're rocking. Now release. We're going to walk the feet slightly wider, and then with slightly bent knees, rest the heels of your hands on top of the knee. Okay, now we're going to see if we can just lean forward and bring our hands towards the ground. So if you want to, you can work on knuckles, so rest onto your knuckles or the whole of the hand. But we're just going to stay here for a further 10 seconds, okay? Okay, now, lean into your heels as we started the session. And then lean forward into your hands. So we're rocking back a little and forward a little. Keeping the elbows nice and straight. So we're not putting too much stretch into the back. Okay, so imagine we're in the heels of our hands and then the fingertips. Then from here, bend your left knee and stretch out through the green. Reset, right knee. Reset, left knee. What if you go a little deeper? Right knee. Have a little work with this. You might want to use your hands with you. Lovely. Last time. So reset back to center, bend the knees, pop your hands on your knees, and I want you to straighten your arm again, okay? Okay, and then from there, pull your belly into your ribs. So suck in your belly, straight arms, long neck, and then relax. See if we can do that again. So we're really pulling it in as tight as we can, okay? So pull in, pull in, pull in, pull in, and then release. Okay, while we're here, we might as well pop down on the ground. Okay, so shoulders will come into play quite a bit today. So we're going to start with, believe it or not, it stays with ankles. Okay, so we're going to curl toes onto heels and pop bottom onto heel. Rise up, flatten off feet, sit back. Rise up, curl toes under, sit down. Rise up. So you can see what we're doing here. We're just looking at stretching out through the knee joint, but we're also allowing for a bit of stretch through the feet, through the ankles. Okay, it'll become relative in a minute. Okay, so here we are. We're on the floor. We're in child's pose for a moment. And in the beginning of the session, see if you can bring your knees together before you stretch out in child's pose. Okay, so the knees are close. We're lying down onto the top of the foot. Stretch out as far as you can. Now, I'd suggest here to use your hands to push back. So really think about pushing your bottom onto your heels. That's the focus. What you might feel is a little stretch into the low back, okay? And I expect that. Okay, now we come up onto wall fours. And let's have a look at some wrist bone loading. So shifting your weight forward and backwards. Pressing your index fingers into the ground. So we're not coming out onto the outside edges of our arms, so really focus on thumb and index fingers. Then we're going to circle, one direction then the other, clockwise, anti-clockwise. Again, distributing whole of your body weight around your hands. Think about going through the outline of your hands as you go forward and backwards. Resetting what you think is neutral, so hands roughly over shoulder height, and then push back, drop your elbows onto the ground and lift up again. So it's a little pop down and come forward. Pop down, come forward. Lovely. Let's give me 4 more of these. Let's see if we can make it bigger each time. 2. Last time. Lovely. Okay, so just sit back and roll your wrists out for a second. We're going to come back to that in a little while. We had a bit of a set crash just now. So never mind. It's all part of the learning, right? Okay, so whilst you're giving your wrist a bit of a stretch out, let's start to explore the hips. So I want us to be able to come down onto one hip, rise up, and then come down onto the other, okay? So we rise up, shift your weight onto the left, so your bottom is, all your body weight is on your left leg, and your right's a bit free. And then we're going to try and do it on the other side. So this is like part 1, okay? The progression is coming down onto the whole of the left hip to rise up, and then to come right the way down onto the right. And rise up. So one side really works well for me. Like, no problem, I get this all the time. Other side goes, oh, don't like that, Hal. So the ambition is no hands, no touchy. But if you need to use your hands to create the movement, then that's fine too. Okay, last time. Okay, so let's stay on the right side for a second. Remember what I said about shoulders? We're popping our right hand down. The right hand is creating a lovely triangle shape, hand to hip to shoulder. I want you to sink your ear in and then push your shoulder out. Right, we got that. The effort now is all about the left leg. We're going to lift and lower it. 8 and 7 and 6 and 5 and 4, create stillness, and 3, good job, 2 more, lift, last time, well done. Okay, come down onto your right elbow. This time we're going to do the same thing. We're going to hold, we're going to keep your hips stacked firstly, so we're not rolling onto the bum cheek. Hip stacked, lift leg, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, okay, hold. So flex foot, heel presses out. Just tiny, weeny, little presses. Tiny, weeny, little presses. Tiny, weeny, little presses. I do this and think of Annie every time. Well done, good job. Foot comes down, give yourself a moment. Okay, so we push up. We send the legs onto the other side. Set yourself, and to set yourself well, Firstly, we do what not to do, so ear to shoulder, and then press it away. Good. Okay, same thing. We're going to lift the outer leg. So right leg, we lift up and down. Good. Up and down. So it's all about using these muscles that protect and support the hips to fire and engage. You'll feel, and that includes the waistline. So we're thinking about our muffin tops. 2 more. Last time. Okay, and then we come down onto our elbow. Lovely. Okay, right. Okay, so from here, we're long and separated ear from shoulder, top leg lifts, and we're going to pulse. Tiny, weeny, little presses. So again, we're trying not to roll onto the bottom, keeping the weight forward, so not rolling back, because that's cheatering. I don't even know which camera I'm supposed to look at. Lovely. Little presses, tiny, weeny, little presses, and release. Okay, now from here, instead of lying down, what we're going to do, we're going to take our hands nice and wide. We're going to come up onto the knees. Then we're going to shift the knees onto the other side, and we're going to bring the hip down. We're going to come up onto the knees, walk to the other side, and bring the hip down. Oh, yeah. Again, just finding nice little ways here to create some symmetry, right and left side. Oh, mate, warms my knees up, that's for sure. Okay, and then reset. So we're now all fours, 4-point kneeling. Let's engage those core muscles. Curl toes under knees. Take a breath. Exhale. Lift knees. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Option 1, knee down. Option 2, downward facing dog. Option 1, knee down. Okay, ready? Let's go again. Breath in, exhale, lift knees. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, down dog. Here we go. So long stretch, heels towards the ground. Use your hands to push your body backwards. Enjoy that stretch. Ooh. Lovely. Come forward to float the knees for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Push back, down dog. Push back. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Oh, that's quite nice there. Lovely. Knees come down. Okay. Right, so we're on all fours. Right arm comes forward and resets. Left arm comes forward and reset. Now what I want you to do here when you perform this movement is to think about what are those core muscles doing. Now I've got shakies. So I can feel my core work really engaging. Okay, and rest for a second. Let's try the same with the legs. But normally, right? Normally I say knees under hips. Our starting position is further back. So the bottom is closer to the heels. That's your starting position. And you're going to send that leg back and bring it forward into your starting position. Switch knees without disturbing the back. I've killed all trees and back in. Okay, now starting position, remember that. Now I want you to send your whole body backwards. Can you see that change? Right. Let me show you again. So our starting position, bottom is already towards heels. The right leg will send backwards, straighten off the right knee, push back, come forward, push back, come forward. Try not to collapse into the left side. So think about the midline of your body. So as we do this movement, what you should be feeling is the left front of thigh kicking in nicely. 2 more. Oh, last time. I literally just made that up. Oh yeah, what if we? I forgot. Right, okay. Relax if you need to, or should we just power on through? Left side. So, starting position, bottom over heels, starting position. So we're already leaning into it. The left leg shoots back. Think about the midline. So think about inner thigh, arch of foot. So we go back as far as you can. Try not to depend on the right side, on the left side. So try and distribute your weight equally. Think about your right big toe, right inside knee as you send the leg back and forward. Woo. 4, 3, 2, last time. What you'll notice as you rest out is that your bum cheeks and your thighs would have just warmed up. Okay, well done, lovelies. So we're going to flip over onto our backs. I feel like I'm motoring through this today. We're not even halfway through the class. Soz. Right, so we're on our backs. Let's start with waking up through a bridge. Give yourself a moment to acclimatise for being on your back. Now, I've noticed myself, hang on, sort my leggings out. Right. I've noticed myself that I'm more comfortable with my feet wider. Truth is, it's the cheat's way. So I want us to think about bringing the feet closer together. If you need to pop a cushion between your knees, that's fine. But remember at the beginning of the session, we started with the foot conversation. I want you to think about the big toes and the arches of the feet, right? So we're thinking the inside seams of your feet. Articulate your spine. So we're thinking about starting at the coccyx, lifting the coccyx away from the ground. And to be able to do that, there's this natural C shape that happens to your lower back. So we get ourselves lifted up. So in true Pilates session and a true Pilates style, there's a point where we kind of stop, but I want you to engage through the buttocks and push a little higher. So you're feeling the pressure in your heel and your big toe and your arch, right? Okay, now let your arms settle overhead for a second, because we're going to start at the top of your shoulder blades and lay your spine down, 1 vertebra at a time. Now, do me a favor, close your eyes and repeat this, because I want you at the top of the move to press through your heels. So as your heels push you higher, you should feel more of a connection in the front and top of your pelvis, more of a connection to the bottom, the lower bottom and the back of your hamstrings. Leave your arms overhead, close your eyes, and what I want is equal and balanced. So the vertebrae to come down 1 at a time. But what you might notice is possible any sways or sort of not always in a straight line, and that's where there's tightness, and there's always tightness in the back. So keep those arms overhead if you can, keep rolling up to the top of your movement and then rolling down in symmetry. And it's also where you're feeling it. So I want you, there might be areas that you kind of go, not feeling it at all. Some areas you feel a little bit stressed with it. If you're starting to be uncomfortable with your arms overhead, then bring your arms back down to your sides. The good thing about leaving your arms overhead, it's almost like your top armor where your shoulder blades sit, that all floats on your ribs. It's all kind of been lifted up. It's as if you're being held up by your shoulders. So you've got a bit more space around the ribs to move. Okay, now relax. So from here, I just want us to think about good old-fashioned tabletop. Choose where you want your hands. Now, I started talking about shoulders. Today, if you can, leave your palms facing upwards, because that allows just for a nice little roll and rotation of your shoulders. You may get clunky here, that's normal. Okay, so the collarbone is open. The shoulder blades are drawn in towards each other. We're braced around the center. We're just going to lift one leg and then the other. Lower one leg, barely touching the surface, and then the other. Ooh, lift up and down and down. Any chance you can open a window in here? That would be nice. It's quite warm in here. Okay, nice little setup, right? So last time up and hold. Now here's the change. We're going to allow the legs to draw closer to your chest. So we're pulling in and pulling in. Eight and 7. Now if you want to add in a bit of momentum here, and 3 and 2. Okay, now if you want to, you can roll like a ball. So take your hands firmly underneath the back of the knee, roll all the way down and all the way up into a seated position. Now to do this, you've got options. What you can do is float the feet, no touchy. If you need to put the brakes on and put your feet down, fine as well. So a little bit of a lovely roll. So you do need momentum. Think about the whole journey of the spine. 2 more. Last time. Up and hold. Feet down, lengthen legs. Window things behind the shelves. Right, so we're sitting up nice and high onto our sit bones. We're sitting up nice and high on our sit bones. Now, what we might experience here is a little bit of stress at the top of the groin, okay? So bear with me. We got a block all behind there. Okay, right. So what I want us to do is to think about, okay, I'll do this. I've got a little plant pot here, okay? So my feet are wide. I'm going to lift up and over, and then other side, up and over. Now bear with me, okay? And the reason I'm doing this is because we have to train what's going on at the top of the hip flexors. Now what often happens is this collapsing into your shoulders. So we really need to try and keep as upright as possible. So think about your elbows. Nice and tall. Who hates this? Pat said, I hate it and I'm not even doing it. Okay, so we've got 8 more to go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last time, and then lean forward. Take your feet a little wider and lean forward. I'm not saying go all the way down, just lean forward, just take the stress away. Now from here, take your left elbow in towards the inside of the left knee and just allow for a bit of pressure, so almost like push it away. So as you're using your elbow to push away, you'll feel that connection. Then the right arm comes up into the opposite diagonal behind you. Okay. Come back down, nice and tall, nice and lengthened, leaning in towards the right side, popping your right elbow in towards the right knee joint. Hold it there, so feel that connection, so feel that opening, and then from there, let's open up through the arm. So it's allowing for a chest stretch. Lovely. Okay, so thanks, plant. Okay, so we're taking our hands behind us. The hands are pointing away to start with. For that reason, we now need to focus on what's going on in the front of the upper chest. So we need to squeeze the shoulder blades to lift the chest, lift the collarbone. As for a moment, we're going to work on taking the bottom off the ground for 4, 3, 2, 1, bottom down. Okay, now turn your hands outwards. Squeeze your shoulders together. We're lifting up again for 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Good job. Last time. Take your hands further backwards, but fingers pointing towards your bottom. Elbows straight. Press into your hands to lift up. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and release. Okay, so we're working through the triceps there. You might need to give yourself a bit of a shaky off. Okay, so with that said, and I said we were coming back to this later on, we're back onto all fours. Now just look for a minute. What I want us to do is to come down, nose in front of hands. So my nose, I'm going to aim to create a lovely triangle shape, and my nose is going to come down to the center. Spreading the fingers, but the hands are relatively close together. So I will come forward, elbows tuck. Can you see that? Okay, so let's put this together. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in to lower, breathing out to push away. Inhale to lower, exhale to push away. Too much or elbows flaring, lean back, pop elbows down onto the mat. Push up. So that's your alternative, okay? So we're dropping down, pushing up. We got 4 more to go. So you choose 4. X breath. So breathe out on exertion. Inhale to lower. Exhale to press up. Inhale to lower. Exhale to press up. And then relax off. Well done. Well done. Okay, so notice today I'm moving you around quite a lot, front, side, and just keeping that going. Just instead of, because normally we think about the flow of a class, I'm trying to break it up today with a little bit of chaos, simply because it's encouraging you to be more mobile on the floor. Okay, so what we're going to do is to roll back, and we're going to do some circles with the hips. So part 1. Let's just keep this small. So work within your realms, Mary. Okay, so left leg down and still. And I'd suggest today you'd send left toes up towards the ceiling. Got it? So left toes up to ceiling. Right leg comes up into tabletop as starting position. Okay, from here, I just want you to draw a circle to the ceiling. So we're not opening up too much. We're just circling and drawing a circle towards the ceiling. Okay, got it? Okay, think about the pressure through the left heel. Now we switch direction. Same leg, same side, different direction. And by now what you should be feeling is a natural weakness on the left side and the left having to work quite a lot to create that stability. Got it? Okay. And then switch. Right foot comes down. Flex foot, left foot tabletop. Okay, so circle. The circle is on your ceiling. It's a small range of movement. But we're working on that tension through the center to stabilize the pelvis. Otherwise, the bigger muscles will be in charge and then everything goes floppy. Okay, switch direction. Keeping it slow and controlled. Pressing the right heel into the ground. So by putting that pressure through your right heel will enable greater power into your core muscles. Well done. And then release. Okay, we got that. Butterfly the hips, soles of the feet together, knees just go out to the side for a second. Whew. Okay, so we're going to bring the knees up, squeeze the shoulder blades together, hands to your sides, palms up. Right leg elongates. So we're straightening out the right leg. Right knee straightened off, and then just be mindful here that your toes are drifted out to the side. We need your toes directly towards the ceiling, and almost imagine they're almost turning inwards, and we're going to pump that leg. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, hold. Okay, now toes turn out, heels in, same thing. Direct towards the ceiling. 8, 7, little pump, 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 pump. 5, 4, 3, 2. Okay, same thing, toes to ceiling. This time you're just going to pump the knee in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. Got it? Okay, as you're pumping that foot, left heel to ground, left toes to ceiling. 6, 5. Now you should fatigue on this one. 2. Okay, hold it out, fully extend, pump. So tiny, weeny, little presses, tiny, weeny, little presses. Anyone feeling that, you might feel it, ouchie, ouchie. Turn toes out, same thing. So it's the arch of the foot making its way to the ceiling. Tiny, weeny, little presses, tiny, weeny, little presses, tiny, weeny, little presses. My word, that's surprising. Okay, hold and float, toe to ceiling. Now we're going to take the leg out and in. So we're just sweeping it out and in, but never ever allowing the foot to open up so the toes remain pointing to the ceiling. So we stay in abduction. So we're allowing the leg to come out and in, pressing the left heel down. Inner thigh for me is working. Ow, 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 ow. 3, 2, last time. I am always surprised by the energy here. Now I'm going to repeat this, but I'm just going to change angles. Okay, so you'll mostly see my legs. Right, so left foot comes out, right knee down. I'm focusing on keeping my right side still, and my left leg will start to pump. 8, 7. Thinking about that space between the joints. Noticing that my straight up and down feels more like a circle. Lovely. Okay. Same thing. Turn toe out, lift, lift. So it's the arch coming up to the ceiling. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, okay, and then from there we come back, same again, so we're lifted, okay, but this time the heel of the right comes into the ground, toe to the ceiling, 5, 4, 3, 2, knee comes into chest, so we pump it in and out. So we have quite a few of these to do, it's 20 in total. Woo. Enjoy. Again, this is about range of movement. Shoulders pull together. Brace through the abdominals. Use your breath, not hold your breath. And you should feel tired by the time you've got close to 20. It's definitely giving me a warm flush. 4, 3, 2, stop, elongate, and pump again. 8, 7, 6, inside arch, inner seam. 3, 2, turn out. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Well done. Now we abduct. So float, toes towards the ceiling. We go out and in, pure abduction. Focusing on the right leg, so we're not drifting with the right leg. Keep it all in abduction. So the left hip is doing all the work here, but you should feel it everywhere around the groin. 4, 3, 2, last time. Knees in, soles together, knees drop out wide. Woo. Are you all right? Give yourself a moment. That was fairly intense, wasn't it? Whew. Right. Full body stretch just for a moment. I don't know about you, but my inner thighs are going, hello. Right, full body stretch. Cross left over right. And then uncross and right over left. Really focus on stretching and going nice and long. Now for the last 2 times, I'm going to move you. So from here, we hold one knee and rock into a seated position, flip over. And we're going to do some planks, 2 pikes. Planks to down dogs. And then as soon as we've done that, well, that variation, we then progress into some. Today I'd like to do a stretch. Okay, so think about your alignment. I'm going to give you 2 options. You can do this on your forearms should you want to. It's a question of preference because I did put some focus into shoulders today. So if you do that, then come down onto your forearms and shoulders directly over elbows. So what I'm looking for is just the smoothness as you move from one position to the other. So plank or hover and then push back into down dog. If you're on your forearms, that is technically it's called dolphin. So again, plank. Trick is keep your heels together, push back to down dog. Why I like this, it allows my spine to ripple, and I like that. I feel like everything wants to cook and everything wants to work in balance. We can't ever undermine or underestimate rather the power of the shoulders. So keep working. I want 6 more of this flow. And just keep working through your shoulder energy. Lovely. Once you've completed your 6th, pop your knees down, take your left foot forward. Just for a moment. Now think about hips being square on. And lean forward. So what you should get is a bit of a undercarriage stretch. Pop, so left foot forward, pop your right foot down, and then if you want to, just press your left knee away. Press your left knee away. Another option here, let's try this together, is to come up, both hands onto your front left knee, and then take your right elbow onto the outside of the left knee. Now from there, there's loads of things you can do from that. So you can twist, you can even take your back right knee off the ground if you want to. Being upright, just get, again, a stretch at the front of the hip. And just start to turn and look away. Okay, bring your hands inside of that front foot and take that front foot behind you. Right foot comes forward. Play with it, just find the bit that feels comfortable for you. Okay. Coming into that lunge is quite important because this is around that flexibility on the ankle, and actually it's very, very good for the health of the knee. From there, you can pop both hands onto that front knee and think about bringing back of left arm, so behind the left elbow, onto the outside of the knee. Think about just a little rotation and twist here. Again, just mainly that mobility. We're looking to keep the body nice and flexible. Ooh, nice. Lovely, bringing both hands onto the inside of the knee. Now again, if you want to, just push that knee out if you want to. Okay, and then child's pose. So we started with the knees together. Take the toes together, knees nice and wide. Find the thing that's comfortable for you. So I could encourage you to try and bring your chest as close to the floor. So, and that will involve you using your hands to push your body backwards. So think chest to floor. Another one is forearms to mat, because then you'll feel your lats. So bra fat kick in. From here, knees still nice and wide. Take your left hand, feed it through the space between the right knee and the right hand. And enjoy that. Now again, there's lots of variations of this, so if you want to make it stronger, you can send your right elbow to the ceiling, add more of a press. Reach your left hand further forward and through and try and roll back on the shoulder blades. Ooh. Come up, switch sides. So the right feeds under. Again, make it deeper if you want to now by sliding your right hand further through and rolling onto your left shoulder blade. Enjoy that around your ribs and your diaphragm. And then finally, reset yourself so we can just do a few moments of some breath work. Oh, that was nice. Okay, relax your shoulders, relax your hands. However you're positioned, making sure you're nice and comfortable. Yeah. Okay. This is about rewarding yourself. You just put yourself through some movement and mobility. You've looked at strength and flexibility and all of those things. You know, reward yourself. And we do that using our breathing, and breath to body connection is very good for managing our stress hormones. And that deep belly breathing helps us tap into that vagus nerve, or what we call the parasympathetic nervous state. So breathing low and then deep into your belly helps us to release the relaxation hormones, because we shouldn't be in high levels of stress all the time. So we need to sort of mitigate and think about that balance. It's all about balance, right? So the breath work, that's allowing every muscle to relax and switch off. Feel any changes. Try and focus on releasing muscles and letting go. Releasing tension and letting go. And starting from the bottom upwards, so from your feet and ankles and calves and knees, thighs, hip area. We hold a lot of stress and tension around the hips, around the pelvis and bottom. Moving up the spine. Think about all that tension around the ribs, particularly around the shoulders. Just release, let slack, let go. Feel the tension wash away. So I want you to just notice the top and front of your shoulder. And just, if you want to, give it a massage, or just notice and just press into the front of the shoulder, or just notice the front of the shoulder. And then from there, just take your hand and notice that shoulder releasing its energy out through the hand and finger. And we'll do that on the other side. So just press into the front of the shoulder. Or simply just think about the front of the shoulder. And then allow that tension to drift down the arm and out through the fingers and hands. Now when we go to the crown of the head, it's almost like when you step into a shower or stand underneath water and feel that cascade of water start on the crown of your head and then simply pour away. And I want you to visualize that. Just this big cascade of water just coming over you and washing away any strengths, any stress. And stay here with that visualization. Because as it's washing away any tension, it's leaving with you freshness and vitality. It's leaving with you that sense of accomplishment, and more importantly, that sense of happiness. So take that with you today. Long breath in, long sigh out. Arms come back into play and stretch out nice and wide. Wiggle the fingers. Entwine your fingers, send your hands up. And then release your hands, well done, and give yourselves a round of applause. Yay! You survived, so thank you. So that's the one where I said we did focus on shoulders quite a lot, but well done, team. I think you were wonderful today. It was nice to see you. And now we'll just come off mute. Hopefully Owen would have stopped recording.